Riquelme sparks a new FIGO-like case with Haaland. Announcement, promise before a notary, and denial. After Riquelme's commitment to the members that Haaland will play for Madrid, the player's father and agent step into the scene. Very entertaining, but it's not true. Good luck to both candidates. Enrique Riquelme's announcement about Erling Haaland, assuring that the Norwegian will play for Real Madrid if he wins the elections, has unleashed a tsunami of coverage both in the media and across the football world, inevitably rekindling memories of one of the most famous episodes in the White Club's electoral history, the Luis Figo case 26 years ago, with Florentino as the central figure at the time. The controversy began when Riquelme claimed that Haaland would play for Real Madrid if he is elected president, and with the response from the player's inner circle 2 hours later. Both his father, Alfie Haaland, and his agent, Rafaela Pimenta, issued a brief statement in the early hours of the morning saying, "Very entertaining, but it's not true. We wish both Madrid candidates the best." The sequence is reminiscent of the one starring Florentino Pérez in the 2000 elections with the signing of Luis Figo. First, it is announced that if the candidate wins the election, the player will wear white. Then comes a promise of enormous electoral impact. If the commitment is not fulfilled, the candidate will personally assume the cost of the members' fees. That is what happened then with Florentino, and that is what has happened now with Riquelme. The next step also matches. 26 years ago, it was Figo who denied the operation in an interview given to Sport. Now it has been Haaland's father and agent who have publicly denied the information. That said, the tone has been much gentler than in that precedent, issuing a brief note without appearing especially concerned about the matter and leaving the player aside, already focused with Norway for the World Cup. A scenario that also recalls other historic episodes of Madridismo, such as the famous Never Never, with which Florentino denied on the BBC that he was negotiating with David Beckham. Meanwhile, Riquelme's candidacy maintains that behind the announcement there is a commitment with Haaland that is real, and an important nuance is brought to the table. At no point did the candidate say that the player is signed, but rather that he will play for Madrid. According to El Mundo, the businessman has been working for years on the possibility of bringing in Haaland for when election time arrived, and he accelerated the talks last week during a meeting in Marbella with the footballer's father. In that meeting, the foundations of a future agreement were allegedly laid, taking advantage of the existence of a contractual clause that would allow the striker to leave under certain conditions. It is precisely that meeting and the alleged green light obtained then that leads Riquelme's team to maintain its confidence in the operation and to publicly defend that Haaland will play for Real Madrid if he wins the elections. The concern now in Riquelme's candidate, Manchester City considering legal action against Enrique Riquelme over Haaland. Transfer claims. A major controversy has erupted around Erling Haaland after Manchester City reacted to claims that the Norwegian striker could join Real Madrid if presidential candidate Enrique Riquelme wins the upcoming election. According to an update from Fabrizio Romano, the Premier League side has completely distanced themselves from the claims and are now assessing their legal options, following the use of Haaland's image and name as part of a political campaign linked to the Real Madrid presidency. It must be remembered that Riquelme recently made headlines by publicly promising to bring Haaland to the Santiago Bernabeu if elected president. Riquelme made a promise. The candidate went a step further by presenting a Real Madrid shirt featuring the striker's name and claiming that an agreement existed that would eventually bring the Manchester City star to Spain. During his presentation, Riquelme stated, "As a Madrid fan, it makes me happy to see the number 9 shirt." He also attempted to reinforce his commitment to supporters by saying, "I've signed a personal guarantee where, if I fail to fulfill my obligations, I'll pay the membership fees of 100,000 members next season." The presidential candidate then made further claims regarding both Haaland and Manchester City midfielder Rodri. "We'll sit down with City on Monday to talk about Rodri. Haaland has a release clause and he wants to come to Madrid." However, those comments have not been received well within Manchester City. Man City strike back. According to the latest information, the English club has categorically denied the claims being circulated and are unhappy with the use of their players' image and identity in an election campaign. The situation has become even more complicated because reports suggesting that discussions took place with Haaland's camp have allegedly been contradicted by people close to the player. Those sources have reportedly denied that any agreement exists between Haaland and the presidential candidate, creating a significant gap between the public claims and the responses coming from the player's side.